जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम करके अपनी कुंडलिनी उठाकर बंधन लेंगे। We will all bow down at the lotus feet of Shri Mata Ji, raise our kundalini and put ourselves in bandhan. त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदि शक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि चरण चरण हम लागे तिहारे चरण चरण हम लागे तिहारे विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपा निधि विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपा निधि सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि नाथ कलानिधि भाव भक्ति से तुमको पुकारे भाव भक्ति से तुमको पुकारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि हे विद्यानिधि हे सिद्धेश्वर हे विद्यानिधि हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जो भी वसुधानिधि हे शिवनंदन देव सुधानिधि शरणागत के काज सवारे शरणागत के काज सवारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपानिधि विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपानिधि सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि।
सर्व जगी संचरी रे
इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अब हम सब श्री माता जी की अमृत वाणी को सुनेंगे. In this meditative state, let us now listen to Shri Mataji's Amrit Vani.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. It's such a great pleasure to come back to this place again after 10 years. And I must say that Dr. Chaudhary was a tremendous, enthusiastic seeker of truth. And he saw the point of Sahaj Yoga very clearly. That was not the time to talk of many things, as the people were already lured to some things that were to be discovered as false and fake. So I left it at that point, and I thought, when they will find out the futility of such wrong type of seeking, I'll have to go again. Before that, it may not be anything fruitful. Today, as Yogi has asked me to speak about Om, I would like to tell you about the great word called Om, what it is, what it represents, and how it came into being. In the beginning, I have to tell you that whatever I am telling you is a hypothesis for you. You should not accept me as the last word, but as a scientific mind. Look at everything with open-mindedness. You should keep yourself open, see for yourself what I am telling you, and then later on, if it can be proved, then you have to accept it as a law or the divine law. Om is a word people don't understand because it is at the very beginning of this creation that the energy of God, energy of His love, separated from His identity. He pushed her, call it as lasya. He pushed her to create. And he became the spectator and she had to create. At that time when she was pushed, we don't have here something to show you how it worked. But when he tried to push her, her movements went into a kind of a word which is written as like this, three, a, u and ma. So there are three words in it. At the time of that pushing, when the separation took place, there was a sound. This is the first sound, and that sound is called as Om. So many people call it as Logos, but to understand it, you have to go deeper into it and what it was. So the her power got divided into three, a, u and ma. And that's how she became Om. So Om is the sound which is emitted when she creates, which acts as the basis of the essence of her love. Then how she started creating is a very long story which I won't be able to tell you today. But this Om is the one that she first used to create the innocence on this earth. So this Om was the innocence with which she filled the whole universe. So Om is nothing but is the innocence that you see in children, in so many people, in saints, and in most of the incarnations, that they are empowered by their innocence. And this innocence first filled the whole space. Even before creating the space, innocence was there. That was the first creation of element, and that was the innocence. So Om is innocence which does all the living work on this earth. For example, we see these flowers become fruits. We take them for granted. We don't understand that there must be some great mechanism to make the flowers a fruit. We take everything for granted. For example, we take ourselves for granted. We have come from amoeba stage to this stage, and we take ourselves for granted. We don't know how we have become this. We have to know that we have become this because there must be some purpose behind it. And because we do not know the purpose, that's why we are confused. Now this A, U and Ma are three powers. The first power, as we call it in Sahaja Yoga language, in a personified way, is of creation power. You can say the power, is the first power is of the desire power, by which God desired. We call it as the Mahakali power, which resides on the left side of the primordial being, which resides within us on the left hand side, which is manifesting outside the left sympathetic nervous system, which looks after, caters after our past, which caters after our emotions. Just now somebody told me that in the West it is not regarded very good to express your emotions, which is a wrong thing. You should not suppress your emotions. Emotions are very important because they give the balance to personality. Whatever it is, this left side developed into a society of people, groups of people who started worshipping God without thinking, like Catholicism you can say, or any such thing, that they did not think. There was non-reflecting kind of people who would just surrender to God and pray to God. But as I told you yesterday, the mistake was that we believed that we have achieved the end was a wrong thing, because we were not educated on that point. Just by going to some guru, by reading some book, by propounding some sort of a theory, or by saying that we are such and such, we do not become. And such people who just became different organizations really created a fortress for themselves into which truth could not enter. So we had to keep ourselves open to know that yes, we believe in God, all right, but still the light of God has not been expressed within us. It is not yet we have felt the light on our central nervous system. If we really are truthful, we have to just believe that yes, there is God, there is His power. Because we see all these things happening which we take for granted, we can't explain. At least we have to believe there is a power, all-pervading power which does this. Imagine an Indian will produce an Indian child, a mango tree will produce mangoes, an apple tree will produce apple. Who does this sorting out? It's tremendous. Tremendous things are happening, but we take everything for granted. Now all these things happen to us, but we take things for granted, and also we take for granted our beliefs. So the left-sided people started working on the devotion and dedication and saying that God, you are everything. But those who were not educated by great saints and seers accepted it as if they are the chosen ones, or they are something already achieved God, or they are already realized souls, and they formed groups. And that was the death of truth there. Now the second type of people came out of the another power, which is the right side power of action, of creation. Out of this power, the whole creation took place of all the sun, the moon, the stars and all constellations, and all the 14 universes were created out of this power, which is the right-sided, called as Mahasaraswati. This power started working among people, and they thought that as this power has created all the elements, we should try to go to the essence of the element and try to invoke it. So the invocation of the element started by another group of people. The group of people that started this were doing yajnas. You see, they used to invoke the fire and say the mantra of Yom, of the Nirakara, is the formless, and they tried to do many things of this kind just to invoke the element. So the second group of people started doing this. Now, invoking the element has resulted into today's knowledge of science, because once you go into the essence of the matter or the elements, you can harness it and you can find out how to use it. There's another method also by which you can harness it. If you become really the spirit, you can manage that also. But at the rational level and the human level, they achieve the science. But science is still a blind lane. And not only that, but it has a linear movement by which we have developed horrible things like atom bombs and all these modern things which are shattering our confidence. So the second group of people were searching in this. There was a third group of people who came out of the third power of Mahalakshmi, who were the people who were just trying to see the spirit evolve themselves. And the third type of people were the ones who went into the forest and lived there. Thank God, India is such a country that you can live under a tree. You don't have to wear a coat and hat when you have to go out of the house, spend about 15 minutes dressing up yourself to protect. So this place, India, is a place where you can live in a forest, you don't need much, you can eat fruits and you can be happy there. So the attention of people did not move outside as it moved in the West. They were not bothered as to get protection for themselves, make the houses, or to then get the cars and all those things which are needed for human comfort. I mean, it went to the other extreme of comfort. But in India, when this meditation took place, these great seers worked it out in such a way to find out what is the method of evolution. You'll be surprised, 14 years back, we have a poet called Markandeya who has described the evolutionary process in human beings. He has described it clearly, how the Kundalini rises, how she gives you the moksha, the realization. There nobody said that Kundalini is a dangerous thing and you get burnings and you get all these things that you read about Kundalini, such dangerous thing about her. Because only about 100 years back, I think at the most, some people went to India, especially Germans, and they got interested in the erotic art of India, which is anti-God activity, and they found out that those people who were so-called erotics and the people who supported all that kind of thing were the people who were saying that Kundalini can be awakened, but if you awaken the Kundalini, there's a lot of heat and you start jumping, you start behaving in a funny manner, and you have to go through it to become a saint, which is absolutely a wrong conception. As I told you yesterday, that they gave a very, very wrong conception to the Western people who went down, who wrote those books, and they don't know whether the Kundalini is in the stomach or in the brain. So it was a second-hand knowledge from people who have no authority towards Kundalini. Now this is very well known in India, because in the 6th century we had the advent of a great person of the name of Adi Shankaracharya, the primordial Shankaracharya, who came and established that it is the mother who can awaken the Kundalini, and that the Kundalini is your own mother. She is the Holy Ghost within you, the Adi Shakti, and she herself achieves your transformation. He said, na yoge, na sankhya. By any talk, by any rationality, by anything, it cannot be done. It has to be done spontaneously by the person who has the authority to awaken it. Now the authority doesn't come to you from going to any school, college or anything. It comes to you from God Himself. It cannot come to you, say if this Mother Earth has the authority that if you put any seed in it, it spontaneously sprouts. Because it's the quality of the Mother Earth that does the job. So all the living processes are done through the quality of the personality of, say, Mother Earth or the sun or the moon. All of them have that quality to do it. In the same way, the person who has that qualification to do it can only awaken the Kundalini. Every Tom, Dick and Harry cannot do it. But this started in just after the 6th century. This thing started very much. In India, people started making money out of it, that we are going to raise your Kundalini, Kundalini can be risen, this can happen, that can happen. And then they started saying that you have to pass through your subconscious, because they found these people were all possessed. They got lost. They became recluses. See, many people who got this kind of Kundalini awakening went into funny situation. Then a great personality like Guru Nanaka came on this earth. And he said that all these nonsensical things are not what Kundalini is. The Kundalini is your mother, and she rises without any trouble through different chakras, and the one who supported him and explained Sahaj Yoga in a very good way was the great personality of Kabira. And Kabira has described everything about Kundalini but in poetry. But human beings have a great sense how to twist and turn everything into something that's juxtaposition. Like he talked about the Kundalini and called Kundalini as Surati. And he lived in Bihar and he preached about it in Bihar. And there people call tobacco as the Surati. So you can imagine how people twist the truth into just the opposite to call tobacco as the Surati. So this has happened with every great incarnation who came on this earth. So it was very clearly, openly talked about by Shri Adi Shankaracharya on the 6th century, because he said it should not be done secretly anymore. We should not be very selective. We have to give this knowledge to the masses, because the day will come when people will get their mass realization and they should be prepared for it. Then came another great saintly age in Maharashtra, where many saints were born all over the country. There were saints born even in the Uttar Pradesh and also in Gujarat, Bengal, and also in places like Madhya Pradesh. And these saints, all of them, said that you all should get your self-realization. Unless and until you get your self-realization, you cannot understand our language. Of course, all of them were butchered, troubled and tortured. Then only about 60 years back, a new type of rational sort of gurudom came up. Because people realized that there are Western people who would like to have some sort of a rationality attached to God. And they started coming down here and started talking about Vedanta, this, that, all kinds of things, big things they talked. But nobody talked that you must get your self-realization. And even if they talked about it, they did not say that it's a happening that has to take place, is the Kundalini is the one that has to do it, and you better face. So people formed another, then here big organizations were formed. Last 60 years we have had all kinds of these pseudo-intellectual religious leaders in our country. And then came the another type who were absolutely fake people who started saying that when you get your realization, before that you have to become mad. Unless and until you become mad, you cannot get realization. So the poor Kundalini has to suffer. The seekers, who are a special category of people, are to be born in these modern times. They have to be born because this is the day of judgment. Here you are going to be judged by your Kundalini. And if you do not accept that judgment, then when are you going to do it? It's only your Kundalini which is going to judge you. She is your mother. She doesn't trouble you. She doesn't do any harm to you. She is the one who represents the Aquarius, the Kumbha. Aquarian age they say, but they don't know what it is, the Aquarius. What does it do? It represents the Mother Earth within us. The Mother Earth who nourishes us, who soothes us, who comforts us, and who takes us to the reality of life, to the living reality of life, that you are the spirit. You are not this world, you are not this myth, you are not these conventional things, you are not these mental conceptions, but you are the spirit which is absolute. And when you become the spirit, you become, again it is the becoming that is important. It's not just a make-believe. You are not to believe in something, but it is a happening that should take place. Is to be understood in a very open-mindedness, because you have got the power. You have got your Mother Kundalini within you. She is residing within you. You have got your spirit shining in your heart. It has to come in your attention. It is your own power which has to manifest. It is you who has to become the Guru. It is you who has to know what is the real guidance, what is the wisdom, what is the ultimate. It's nobody else who is going to gain by that but you to begin with. And once you become that, you also become collectively conscious. In Sanskrit language, a realized soul is called as Dvijaha, means born again. I mean, people also can certify, I'm born again sort of thing. You cannot certify like that, because a born again has to have the qualities and the capacities, also the power of that. So, also a little bird is called as Dvijaha. Bird is called as a Dvijaha because it is first an egg and then it is transformed into a bird. In the same way, you must get complete transformation within. The whole lifestyle should change, the whole being should change, and you should become again collectively conscious. You have to become. Now, Yogi was telling me, Mother, when you say collectively conscious, they think that it is the word from Jung. Jung was a realized soul. So if he has used that word, he has used the right word, the truthful word. But for that you don't have to go to Jung also, because In Sanskrit language it is called as Samuhik Chetana. And if you call it as Samuhik Chetana, that means collective consciousness. It cannot mean anything else. And the right word Jung used, no doubt about it. So you are not an Jungian, you are not anything, but what it is that the Jung had achieved his realization, so he talked of the same thing as any realized soul will talk. So about Samuhik Chetana, thousands of years back people have talked, and if Jung has said that, it's not that anybody is trying to be Jungian. On the contrary, Jung became one with the whole and he started the same language. Truth has only one language, it doesn't have two languages. It is always one. Now, when you become collectively conscious, firstly, what happens when the Kundalini rises? As it is the Holy Ghost, you start feeling the cool breeze coming out of your head. Cool breeze actually coming out of your head. And if there is no cool breeze coming out of your head, then you are not yet realized. It's not that I have to certify, anybody else has to certify, it is you who has to certify yourself. You have to be truthful with yourself. And then you start feeling the all-pervading power as cool breeze in your hand. Now, this no one can do. As you cannot do any living work, you cannot do this. People can jump, dance, change their dress, do this, do that. But you can't make your head an air conditioner. You cannot. But it happens. And it is for you to see and verify if that it happens. But as that happening takes place, there comes a complete change within your entire being. I don't have to tell you don't do this and don't do that. I don't have to tell you this. I do not preach that don't do this, you must be like this or you must be like that. But what I say that this happens to you, and when it happens to you, you become that. Now what happens? We get attached to certain groups, certain gurus, we get bound to it. I was asking him that even after finding out that you have not found out anything for so many years, why people are still like leeches sticking on to them? Why? What is the thing? What have they achieved? They have lost all their money, everything. Is perhaps the ego, perhaps that we have paid the money, let's go through it. We have paid for it. That may be one of the reasons. Secondly, maybe, yes, one of the reasons could be because very common with human beings that if they pay money, and the play may be the worst of all they'll sit through because we have paid for it. If they have paid for the food and the food is rotten, still they eat it because we have paid for it. It's like that. So they go on with that person. But what is the advantage you have had? You judge yourself. What did you get out of it? You have to be your own guru. Have you become your own guru? It's like in the blanket they walk. I've seen people completely destroyed by so many people. And some of them are just intellectuals, they cannot get realization because they are very one-sided, right-sided, and it is rather difficult to give them realization because through intellect you cannot understand God. Like I came by car, I had to keep it outside to come inside. But once you get realization, then the whole thing becomes absolutely logical. It's only through the awakening of the Kundalini, through the raising of the Kundalini, that you become your spirit. Otherwise there is no way out. If you think you can maneuver it by thinking about it, you can. You cannot go there. To go there, to take your attention there, your Kundalini should rise. Now the fourth power that is within you is the Kundalini. And this power of Kundalini is your true desire. Remember, it is your pure desire. All other desires are not pure. Because whatever you desire, say you want to have a house, all right, you have the house. But then you want to have a car. Then you have the car. Then you want to have an aeroplane. Goes on like that. And it is said in the economics that in general wants are not satiable. So that shows that all our desires are not real desires because they do not bring you real satisfaction. So this real desire is the Kundalini which lies in the triangular bone and which is to be awakened and which is to be manifested. Because it has not been manifested, it is called as the sleeping Kundalini. Now this you have got within you. It is there, lying dormant. It is for you to achieve it because you are seekers. Nothing is important than becoming a realized soul today. That's the main thing should happen, because that is what the evolutionary process is going to end up into, is the breakthrough to the epitome of it. So far, for example, if you make an instrument like this, it is of no use until and unless it is put to the mains. If it is not put to the mains, it has no meaning. You cannot use it also. It has no absolute meaning. And that's what it is today, that we have lost the view of our absolute being, and that's why we are in confusion. This is very simple if you see it, to connect it to the mains. If I know the job, I may not be able to do with this instrument, but with your instrument I may be able to do it. That's the only thing I know. Perhaps I don't know many things, but I know one thing. But at this time, many people feel that why Mataji has to do it. I mean, I'll be very thankful if someone can do it. It's a very good idea. I'm now 60 years of age and I would like to retire. If possible, if somebody can do it in my place, I'll be very happy. But it is not the work of anything to be dominating or anything to be extracting, because it is the job of nourishment, it's the job of soothing, it's the job of curing. What can anyone pay for the love of the mother? What do you have to pay? And that's what I told when I came last time, 10 years back, and Americans didn't like me very much when I told them that you can't pay for that. They didn't like it. They wanted to have an ego trip, that they thought they can pay for their realization, they can pay for their guru, they can pay for God. God doesn't understand money, take it from me. It's your headache. He doesn't understand money at all. So it is for you to understand that you are seekers. You are a special category. Do not waste your life anymore. Get it. First of all, you have to get established. When you get your realization also, we cannot say that it is a complete thing. For example, you must have then the knowledge about yourself and about the knowledge about others. When you get your realization, you feel that, oh, I'm on top of the world, I've become so good, my lifestyle is changing, I'm so very happy. But still, you must know what have you got. Like supposing you get the car and you don't know how to drive it. It will be good for you or for others also. In the same way, your realization, whatever you get, you must master it completely. And you can, for which, of course, you cannot pay again. You cannot pay for anything whatsoever. And that's what it is. One should know that we cannot put in any effort for it ourselves. It's the effort of the person who knows the job that works out. Like the people who are getting drowned have to keep still, and the one who knows how to swim has to bring them to the shore. There's no need to feel ego and all that nonsense. The one who is saving the other person only because the other person is within himself. Like supposing I cured someone and he says thank you to me, I just don't understand. Because say if this finger is sick and if I soothe it down, am I obliging this finger in any way? Does this finger feel that way obliged to my hand which has soothed it? No. So if there is not the other, there is no question of any obligation in any way obliging anyone or anybody getting any obligation on oneself. It is very simple, it's just emitting free, just like sunshine. You have to bathe into it and get it. But those who are identified with other cults and other gurus and other books and other things are very hard nuts. I mean, the other day we had 3 people, they walked into me with their Bibles to hit me and beat me. Can you? I just laughed. This is what it is. They are so aggressive because they are challenged. They don't want to face the reality. But reality is so beautiful. In real, you are so beautiful. You are so glorious. You are so great. Why are you wasting your energy like this? Why? You are not going to gain anything. You are not going to make anything. You will go to hell. That's what it will be. Why? If you have to become the realized soul and enter into the kingdom of God, why not enter? What is so wrong with you? Why can't you see? Why are you so obtuse? Why can't you see the reality? It's something I can't understand sometimes. Why people who are so educated, so wise, who have the responsibility upon themselves of the emancipation of humanity, who have talked so big about it, why when it comes to reality they turn their faces and don't want to take it. It's really beyond my understanding. I would just request to you that you should just get your realization first and then ask me about the whole organization, about the whole working of it. Because if you, supposing, come in the room and you want me to put the lights on, I can just switch on and you will say that there is light. Of course, it's so simple. But behind these lights is a big history, is a big mechanism, and there's a great organization that is working it out. So first of all, if you have your light first, then you start seeing. You start seeing yourself as well as seeing others. And that's how you help others very well. The thing is, today is the last day I'm here. Only for 2 days I had come. Yesterday I talked to you about how materialism can make you low, and how the essence of matter is innocence, and by which you can become fragrant with innocence. I talked to you about that yesterday, and today I wanted to talk to you about Om. But also they said I must talk about the spirit that is within what we become. So I'll talk to you about that in a short time, whatever is possible. So when you become the spirit comes in your central nervous system, in the sense you start feeling the vibrations in your hand, you start feeling the cool vibrations in your head, the cool vibrations. Now when you start using this, you start knowing that this is the truth. For example, if you put hands towards me, and after your realization, you become like a computer. You ask a question, is there God? You get tremendous vibrations. You ask a question, was Christ the Son of God? You get tremendous vibrations. But you ask about a guru, is he a real guru? You might even get blisters. You might even get heat, tremendous heat. It's there. Now relatively, how are we to know whether it is true or not? Relatively, you can see, like I had a very good experience that in Pune, when I went there, the people gave me the hall, and then they discovered that I am not a Brahmin. So they said, now she's not a Brahmin, so she cannot speak here, because this should be only used by Brahmins. So they said, now we have declared in the newspaper, all right, we'll declare it that you wanted to have only Brahmins here. So they said, no, that you shouldn't write, because that would be very bad to show we are fanatics, you see. So they had my program. And while having the program, I said, all right, among you, whosoever are the Brahmins, come forward. So 3-4 of them, you see, came and sat down before me. And I said, all right, all of you put your hands like this. They put their hands and they started shaking their hands, started shaking like this. So I said, what's this? Why are you shaking like this? You are Brahmins, you should not shake. They said, but mother, you are the power, you are Shakti, so we are shaking. I said, but nobody else is shaking. They said, but these 3-4 persons are shaking in any case here. I said, go and ask them, who are they? So they asked, who are you? So they had a doctor with them. Doctor said, these are all certified lunatics. I brought them from lunatic asylum because one of the lunatics was cured by Sahaj Yoga, so I have brought them. So they started looking at me. I said, see, relatively you see, they are also shaking, you are also shaking. So that means that something wrong with you there and you must get it correct. But it so happened when I said it, the chairman of their organization was sitting on the balcony. See, suddenly he had a very bad attack of rheumatism, and he was all like this. He couldn't walk, he couldn't move. Suddenly the whole thing fell down, and he walked on and came and said, Mother, please forgive me for what I said before. I didn't know that they had done this kind of a thing. I just, by the way, said that those who are Brahmins should come forward, because the organizer never told me. And the whole lifestyle changed, and now he is one of our greatest yogis in Pune, who is having a very big place of his own, and where he conducts the classes for Sahaj Yoga, and he teaches about Sahaj Yoga. He is doing a very good work. He has cured 500 people at this age. He is now going to be about 80 years of age, and even now he cycles down.
अब हम सब श्री माता जी की आरती करेंगे. We will now offer आरती to श्री माता जी. सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना. जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी. दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना. सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना. जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी. दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना. जग में साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय। श्री माता जी, आपका कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद माँ कि आपने हमें आपके श्री चरणों की आराधना करने का यह अवसर प्रदान किया। थैंक यू श्री माता जी फॉर गिविंग अस दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी टू वर्शिप योर होली लोटस फीट। जय श्री माता जी। आज दोपहर को 12 बजे से निर्मल धाम में एक ध्यान के कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, जो कि इस चैनल से लाइव प्रसारित किया जाएगा। सभी सहयोगी भाई बहनों से निवेदन है कि कृपया इस कार्यक्रम में ऑनलाइन जुड़कर परम चैतन्य का आनंद लें। टुडे फ्रॉम 12 noon onwards, a meditation session will be broadcasted live from Nirmal Dham. All Sahajyogi brothers and sisters are requested to kindly join the session and enjoy the divine bliss.